Hello everyone! Today we're going to create this neon colored tunnel. Stick around until the end, and if you like it, feel free to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Your support for Loop Lab is always much appreciated. Now, enjoy the video. As always, we'll start by cleaning everything up and deleting the default objects. To make things easier later on, especially for creating a seamless loop, I like to set up a basic foundation. You'll see this quite often in my videos. This is an 8x8 meter floor grid that I use as a reference. In this case, we won't strictly need it, but I add it out of habit. Next, we add a curve and scale it up. The size doesn't really matter and the shape is completely up to you. Again, this is one of those things that boils down to personal preference. Feel free to do whatever you like here. What I'm doing is just a preview. You can create a roller coaster, a loop, a flip, anything you want. Again, personally, preference in the design is a big part. It's really on the base setup that matter most. What is important is that you increase the resolution. Make sure to raise the resolution preview view in the curve settings. This step will be clear later. Now we add the camera. In a tunnel setup, the camera usually moves straight ahead or follows a curve like this one. As you'll see, I'm using the follow path constraint and the offset should always be set to 0. In this next step, I add an empty. You will see why in a moment. This empty also gets a follow path constraint so that it stays slightly in front of the camera. On the camera, we now add a track to constraint and set the empty as the target. As you can see, the camera always points toward the empty. If we play this back now, the camera follows the focus point, but it's moving way too fast. We will need to fix that in a second. Moving on, we need to set the path animation to 300 frames since we're using a 300 frame loop, which I may still adjust later. Now we set the bevel depth. You can make it thicker or thinner like a real pipe. Then I adjust the curve subdivisions to make the movement smoother. If you notice camera jitter, that's usually caused by the resolution preview U being too low. All you need to do is increase it. Next, we give the tube its base color. I'll add a light here, a point light, but that's totally optional. I'll remove it later. I'm just using it now to have a reference for exposure. Here you will see me fine-tune the colors using animation. The same color at the beginning and the end and a different one in the middle. That creates a really nice transition, simple and effective. Now I start adding more elements to the tunnel. Make sure the Node Wrangler add-on is enabled. It's often installed by default and incredibly useful. Just press Ctrl+T in the shader editor to automatically add texture coordinates and mapping nodes. I always keep this enabled. In this step, we add a wave texture and animate it so the colors move independently inside the tunnel. Set the start value to 0 and use the loop value shown here on the screen. This gives you an almost perfectly seamless color loop. Just experiment and see what you like. Again, this is personal preference. For me, a VJ loop is like a canvas. I'm creating a new image and painting on it. This is where you can get really creative. The more creative you are, the more fun it becomes. Most importantly, just enjoy the process. Sometimes I create something and realize I don't like it in the end, so then I just delete it. I don't like uploading things I'm not happy with. Now we have three different colors inside the tube and I'm offsetting them slightly. You can give each color its own rotation or animation. Again, another step that is determined by personal taste. Just keep one thing in mind. If you're animating rotation for a 300 frame loop, you should not set the full 360 degrees at frame 300, but at frame 301. That's what makes the loop perfectly seamless. This step is very important. Now I'm slightly changing the shape of the tunnel. Take a look, see what I did. I moved the empty behind the camera, which makes the camera move backward. That's a fun variation as well. Also, don't forget to save. Blender likes to crash sometimes. You can keep the render settings as they are. I'll do a quick test render first just to check if the loop is seamless. For the final video, I increased the resolution to 4K 150% and set the camera quality to high. In the viewport, I use 256 samples. I don't render in the traditional render mode. Instead, I render directly from the viewport, which is much faster. Once everything is ready, go to viewport render animation. Just don't forget to disable viewport overlays, otherwise they'll show up in your video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.